Chapter 127, Picking Up Attributes Effortlessly, Easily Handling Enemies. I, Senior Brother Han, am invincible. The second day dawned, and a booming bell rang out within the Dragon Sparrow sect. Dong, Thebel told 9 times. All the members of the inner and outer sects of the Dragon Sparrow sect converged at the Ascending Immortal platform. The outer sect disciples were dressed in blue robes, the inner sect disciples in green. Invigorated and proud, they looked upon a sky filled with immortal cranes and numerous sword-wielders. Han Yi was among the crowd of inner sect disciples. A cursory glance would reveal no particular distinction. Yet compared to 3 years ago, he emanated a stronger sense of confidence. His cultivation level had reached the foundation establishment stage. Before long, the Ascending Immortal Platform's formation was activated. Led by the senior brother of Pure Yang Peak, its disciples began entering the platform, preparing for the upcoming big competition. Han Yi did not vie for the position of senior brother. He no longer desired the extra spirit stones that came with the position, preferring to avoid unnecessary trouble. Worth mentioning was that his current circumstances had improved significantly compared to before. Whether it was resources for cultivation or distribution of spirit stones, he had been well accommodated. He attributed it to Elder Zhang's benevolence. Ever since his conversation with the Grand Elder, the other elders of the sect had taken an extraordinarily favorable view of him. For instance, when an elder from Bihu Peak visited half a month ago, he thought the elder would pose problems. Yet the elder had come seeking advice, which surprised everyone. Han Yi arrived at the Ascending Immortal platform to check the ranking of his opponents. Given his current position, he would be among the first to compete today. Pure Yang Peak had the fewest inner sect disciples among the 8 main peaks, even fewer than Tianhuo Peak, 9 Palaces Peak, and Skyswallow Peak had in previous years. This indicated that after a year, there were few disciples in Pure Yang Peak who met the criteria for inner sect. The vacancies were thus filled by other main peaks. Han Yi believed this was mainly because Elder Guy had been in seclusion healing his wounds since his return from Huangquan Valley. The standards of Pure Yang Peak had not improved much with only direct disciples for support. Advanced divine powers and cultivation techniques remained a mystery, as there was no one to guide or teach them. Any slackening in cultivation and halt in progress could be harmful. In contrast, 10,000 Beasts Peak, Ziwei Peak, and Skyswallow Peak were all high-spirited. Ziwei Peak, in particular, had the majority of its inner sect disciples breaking through to the intermediate stage of foundation establishment. Their aura, hailing from the cultivation of swords, was particularly sharp. A man from 10,000 Beasts Peak, with long hoary hair and leopard-like facial markings, burst into laughter at the sight of the low number of disciples from Pure Yang Peak. I've heard that Pure Yang Peak is full of masculinity, lacking femininity. Body cultivation is as hard as scaling the sky, and few women can be seen. All of them are iron-blooded men, competitive and striving to be the best. However, it seems somewhat inadequate now. As cultivators, their hearing was exceptionally acute. Many disciples from other peaks heard his mockery and turned their gazes towards Pure Yang Peak. In contrast to previous years, indeed, the number had dropped substantially. While most disciples remained indifferent, those from Pure Yang Peak felt humiliated, their faces filled with anger. Just because we are few, it doesn't mean we are weak. Watch your mouth! These words drew numerous sidelong glances. They weren't said by anyone else but the senior sister of 10,000 Beasts Peak, a beautiful woman with horns growing from her white hair. A dimple appeared on her cheek, her skin a glossy white and as soft as jade, her eyes a mesmerizing sea blue. Senior sister. Seeing the one who spoke, the man with leopard markings hurriedly bowed his head in greeting. This woman was none other than Hua Yuchen, the senior sister of the 10,000 Beasts Peak's inner sect. She was a half-human with the ancient bloodline of the Eastern Sea Dragon clan, a natural beast tamer. 3 years ago, she lost to Han Yi in the outer sect big competition. Now she was part of the inner sect and had become its senior sister. What was more intriguing was that she took the side of Pure Yang Peak. Hua Yuchen shifted her gaze onto Han Yi and gently smiled. Hania, we meet again. Indeed, it's time for the sect's annual big competition. Han Yi felt a sense of nostalgia. Time seemed to fly by so quickly. You've already gained access to the Golden Cicada secret realm 2 years ago. Why not give up your place in this year's competition to me? Hua Yuchen uniquely lowered her stature and said, yielding her place would mean giving up one of the top 3 spots, undoubtedly a sign of weakness. This year, the big competition granted 2 additional places to the outer sect and 3 more to the inner sect for the secret realm. Anyone in the top 3 would get a place. Han Yi chuckled and said, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. I won't be holding back. Upon hearing this, Hua Yuchen didn't seem vexed. Instead, she calmly responded, then, we'll have to rely on our abilities. After saying this, she slowly disappeared from Han Yi's field of vision. It was time for the competition to commence, and the disciples not currently engaged could only wait. The rules of the inner sect's ascending immortal platform differed slightly from that of the outer sect. The contestants would directly face off against each other on the platform, providing a more spectacular visual experience and intensifying battles. Additionally, Han Yi felt it would improve his chances of achieving higher attributes. The big competition officially commenced. The first match was between a disciple from Pure Yang Peak and one from 10,000 Beasts Peak. Sure enough, the competitor from 10,000 Beasts Peak was the man with the yellow leopard-like markings who had just ridiculed Pure Yang Peak. Kamian, this disciple from Pure Yang Peak, who had been holding in his anger, drew his 7-foot-long purple war saber. Clutching the saber's hilt, his magic power surged as he swung a long slice of blade aura directly at his adversary. I won't leave this platform without cutting you down. The man with the yellow leopard markings lightly curled his lips into a smirk, waiting smugly for his opponent to make the first move. Bring Eton. He swiftly drew out a beast-taming jade token, pouring his magic power into the token. A white, elongated phantom apparition flew out from his fingertips. Bang! The apparition collided with the blade of the saber, emitting a massive sound and directly sending the war saber flying. Even though he was a body cultivator, the disciple from Pure Yang Peak felt numbness travel through his arms and pain erupt from his fingers. Suddenly, a white shadow appeared in front of him and, before he could react, hit him square in the chest. Snap! The sound of his ribs breaking could be heard. He spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, flying backward like a broken kite and falling onto the ascending immortal platform, unable to rise. The man with the yellow leopard marking swung his hand, and the white shadow returned to him. It was only then that the audience saw what the object in his hand was: a hissing white python. Its head was unusually thick, resembling a mushroom. Cracks lined its body, which had a rock-like texture. It's actually a mystic-grade spirit beast, the white spirit rock python. Many observant disciples had already identified the origin of this python. This spirit beast is equivalent to a human race foundation establishment cultivator. New disciples from the inner Pure Yang Peak who just joined a year ago didn't expect their senior brother to lose so quickly. It was a matter of a twinkling of an eye. Is a top-grade spirit beast this strong? This is only the first round, and such a major defeat has somewhat dampened the morale of those from Pure Yang Peak. But Han Yi was calm, heading towards the edge of the Ascend Immortal platform to collect attributes. Attribute Collection, Blade's Blind Spot 2. Blade's Blind Spot White, you have a basic understanding of using the blade and are relatively proficient. I don't think much of the white attributes I have now. Han Yi contemplated that he had many purple attributes and even orange ones on him. The white attributes are really no longer useful for him. Let's continue. The man with the yellow leopard print and white snake around his arm laughed upwards. The next disciple was a disciple of the inner sect from the Tianhuo Peak. Please enlighten. Without much talk, this disciple from Tianhuo Peak summoned 7 or 8 magic treasures. Each magic treasure has an impressive power. Tianhuo Peak cultivates the 6 weapons heavenly radiance technique, which enables them to control multiple magic treasures for battle. Unfortunately, he still lost. Bang! Few Height Spirit Rock Python transformed into a giant python of about 30 feet high, blocking all the attacks of the magic treasures, and swept this disciple out of the battlefield with its tail. Han Yi was clearing the battlefield with a still expressionless face. Attribute Collection, Natural Blacksmith 1. Natural blacksmith green, you have some talent in artifact refining and are very proficient in forging. This is good, come a few more, I just so happen to not have the talent in artifact refining. It would be nice to have one that has formation technique, or beast taming and talisman making. Han Yi was very much looking forward to collecting more attributes. Several more disciples took the stage, but none of them could beat the White Spirit Rock Python. Their attacks could not bypass the python, and their defense could not withstand the powerful physical body of the python. As he wished, Han Yi was able to pick up a blue attribute. Attribute Collection, Demonic Beast Companion 1. Demonic Beast Companion Blue, you can absorb some characteristics from demonic beasts and use them as your own. This one's powerful. Han Yi's eyes lit up. No wonder this man was so confident. He could absorb the ability to harden the body from the White Spirit Rock Python. Therefore, he was unharmed. Before they knew it, several battles had taken place on the stage. The White Spirit Rock Python was still standing tall. Are the disciples of 10,000 Beasts Peak so fierce this year? It's tough to deal with. Mainly this spirit beast is too stubborn. I really have no solution. The ability of the beast tamer relies heavily on the strength of the spirit beast. It is an inevitable thing. The disciples below were talking in whispers. Han Yi, 7th round. The voice of the presiding elder finally announced Han Yi's turn. The gazes of the disciples of Pure Yang Peak gathered on Han Yi, filled with hope. Han Yi is going to take the stage. Can he do it? He was the champion of the outer sect 2 years ago. His strength is undeniable. That was 2 years ago. He has pretty much vanished over these past years. It's unknown how much he has improved. The man with the yellow leopard print chuckled, his eyes sharp. So you're the Han Yi that senior sister speaks of. I heard you are pretty powerful. Let me have a taste today. He cannot underestimate him, the man who defeated his senior sister 2 years ago. It's possible he's made great progress these past years. Han Yi slowly walked onto the Ascend Immortal platform and casually said, I wouldn't dare to claim to be powerful, I'm just a brute. In the end, it all depends on your actual abilities. Although the man with the yellow leopard print has confidence in his spirit beast, he's not complacent and transferred all his magical power to reach the peak of his fighting state. Han Yi stepped forward and made a fist with his hand, solemnly declaring, I will only throw one punch. Just as he finished speaking, the man with the yellow leopard print saw several silhouettes of Han Yi in front of him. So fast, his face changed and he channeled magical power into his palms, recalling the White Spirit Rock Python to defend him, wrapping him in the center, ensuring a flawless defense. Pure Yang Zuan Huangfist, Aleph Han Yi's shadows merged together, and his arms made a sound of dragons and tigers roaring at the same time. Golden magic power penetrated the Ascend Immortal platform, striking the White Spirit Rock Python directly. There appeared an 8-trigram pattern in the sky and on the ground. Countless golden rain fell swiftly. It hit hard on the body of the White Spirit Rock Python, breaking its bones, causing the python to howl constantly. A solid punch was landed on the body of the White Spirit Rock Python. Its supposedly invincible defense seemed like a joke, making a crack sound. The next second, the White Spirit Rock Python turned into a white light and disappeared, returning to the beast-taming jade token. Han Yi pulled back his fist and stared at the pale yellow leopard print man, saying, It seems your spirit beast is no longer up for the battle. Shall we continue? A beast tamer and his spirit beast are as one. His spirit beast was seriously injured, so how could he still have energy left to fight? Many of the disciples on the stage were stunned and turned to stone in the moment. They all thought Han Yi would come up with a good method to bypass the White Spirit Rock Python. However, in the end, Han Yi did not even attempt to bypass it and chose the most difficult method. And with just a single punch, he won? Everyone was speechless and did not know what to say for a while, until one of the disciples from Bihu Peak recognized Han Yi and exclaimed with sigh, Thatchen Yi. The Han Yi who recently became famous in Bihu Peak, Yangshan Peak.